Hi again then guys, and welcome to, of course, another speed tune setup, in particular for, obviously, Forza Horizon 4. This one is actually a requested tune for me to update from Horizon 3. Of course, I don't particularly mind what order I do the cars in, because I'm going to work through most of them anyway, so if there is a particular car that you'd like me to do a speed tune for, supercar especially, but otherwise as well, I will consider it, then of course drop it down in the comments, because I do pretty much plan to do all of the primary ones anyway, as with the last game. Now, this car, of course, the Saleen S7, incredible American supercar, maybe the best all-round American supercar ever made. I know a lot of people would say Ford GT, but even the Ford, it doesn't really have the just pure out-of-the-box competition ability that the Saleen has. Combined with McLaren F1 level straight-line performance, it's incredible. As far as I'm concerned, it is America's McLaren F1. But as far as the tuning itself goes, I would actually recommend the Racing V12 conversion. I would personally prefer to use the V8, and arguably you should be able to get as much, if not more, power out of it, but that's just not the way the game is set up. So I'd recommend the V12, over 1200 horsepower, drop the weight as much as you can. You definitely want all-wheel drive as far as I'm concerned. Of course you could go rear-wheel drive if you want to, but there's a ton of advantages of all-wheel drive, not the least of which, of course, being off-the-line acceleration. Now, for 0 to 60, you're looking at 1.9. This is on racing tyres, not drag tyres, so it, of course, will be even quicker if you do choose those, but you'll sacrifice a little bit of handling. 0 to 100, 4.3 technically, just on the border of 4.2, and top speed wise technically 269, so we'll see if it can actually break that, get up around 270, of course if the roads are long enough especially. Now as far as the gearbox in particular, we've got an auto setting of 3.95, then for the individual gears I've got 2.9, 2, 1.5, 1.18, 0.6 and 0.78, so very familiar. You could bump that up a little bit, that 6th gear in particular, just to tighten it up a little bit as far as top end speed. As far as the benchmark, you will notice it drops a little bit, but that doesn't really hurt the car too much. It just means you can get to that speed a little bit quicker, and most cars, especially supercars, can actually go beyond the benchmark anyway, which of course we'll take a look at in a second. As far as the alignment, I'd recommend neutral camber, neutral toe, 7 degrees of caster, might work for some people, maybe not for others, so of course feel free to change that if you want to. Anti-roll I've got on 33 and 26, springs on 82, 136, and I've opted for the lowest ride height. As far as dampers, 9, 14, 4 and 6. Downforce you cannot adjust. The car naturally has quite a lot of downforce anyway. The long tail, the flat floor, the fixed rear wing. As I said, it's essentially a competition machine straight out the box, kind of like a Maciel. As far as the diff, I would recommend 100% on acceleration. You could try increasing the braking or deceleration setting if you want to as well, and as far as the center balance, I've gone for 80%. So you can improve the launch if you lower it, say to 75 or 70, but I wanted to keep that top end maneuverability there, which, you know, a lot of hypercars, when you change them to all-wheel drive, because the majority of them are rear-wheel drive, Saleen, Koenigsegg, Venom, the problem with that is they can become very heavy, and I didn't want that to happen. So that's why I've gone for 80%, but of course feel free to change that if you want to. Now, as with most of my tunes, this is on my storefront, so you can use the keywords in the description like HSG, or you could just use my gamer tag to search for it, corrupted disc, etc. And so what you want to see is what the car can do in action. Now, the fact that this car does have a little bit less power, about 300 or so less than something like the Lambo V12 conversion, it's not quite as quick top end as something like a Koenigsegg or a Venom, but it certainly isn't slow. And as you can see from this footage, you can get it up around 268 pretty comfortably. I would say maybe in summer it might be quicker, the roads potentially if they're clearer with traffic, etc. But overall it proves that it can do that kind of speed anyway. I'm going to say it can do 270 because it's pretty much guaranteed, especially in slipstream. If you can keep the line straight and true, if you can of course avoid the traffic, which is always a pain, then it can definitely do it. So overall, if you want to grab the tune from my storefront or if you want to do it yourself, either way, I hope you have a ton of fun with it. It's a great value car as well, at under 400 grand. And that's it for this build, so I'll see you next time. Click here on screen to see more, and for now, as always, thanks for watching.